So now you have a girl that's a 4, maybe even a 3. You'd only really get with her if you put a paper bag over her head and you've had enough beer. And then you ask yourself, why the fuck am I still single? Why can I not get a decent girl? Welcome to the absolute worst dating market on the planet. For some of us, this is old news, but for a lot of us, this is something we might have not thought about. All the proportions, all the SMV, all the metrics that you have when it comes to dating are extremely off the charts. So the following thoughts have probably crossed your mind. You're sitting there thinking to yourself, I'm 20 years old, I'm 25, I'm 30, I'm 40. I mean, I'm a pretty good man, right? I did the right thing. I have a job. I even hit the gym because going to the gym is super popular these days because you can't compete otherwise. I have my own place. I have a car. I am ready for a relationship. I'm ready for a girl to enter my life. And then you ask yourself, why the fuck am I still single? Why can I not get a decent girl? I mean, at this point, the only girls available to me are whales or girls that are just unattractive. And even those girls seem to think that they are the shit. This is how you know the dating market you're in is absolutely insane. So check this out. If you're the guy that I basically just described, and you feel like you're just not valued enough, these chicks just don't care. They want the guy that's super rich, super jacked, has insanely high status. And you're thinking, well, what's left for me now? Imagine this. Value or your value is just determined based on your surroundings, based on your environment. So let's say here in the first world country, if you have money, that's valuable. But you put yourself into a survival situation, maybe you're stuck on an island and money suddenly is useless because you can't buy anything there. So the most valuable thing becomes food and clean drinking water. So right now, if you're a guy that does everything right and you are in this North American dating market, well then your value is just being undermined. This is why so many guys are finding themselves amazing girls and marrying them across the seas from different countries. I shit you not, you can literally be your average guy, and the average guy is not that impressive. You're probably a bit overweight, you don't go to the gym, you don't make that much money, but you place yourself in a country that values the things you currently do. Maybe you're decent looking, maybe your value in that market skyrockets. I mean, let's take an even easier example. In most countries around the world, people don't have time to go to the gym. They don't work out. It's just not a thing there. So while over here, it's extremely competitive. So you go to the gym, there's a million other guys who are in shape just like you are. And that's just a standard. It's not a bad thing, by the way. But you put yourself literally anywhere else but North America, and you will find it hard to find another gym bro. People will actually look at you like you're from another planet. You're a different species of human. Why does this guy have developed muscles? That's so weird. To them, especially the women, they're not even sure if they're going to be attracted to that because they just don't see this that often, especially if they're not on North American social media or they're looking at all these rich lifestyles. To them, this is just alien. Like, this guy has, like, why does this guy's body look like that? They're just unsure. Is this hot? Is this attractive? I think so because he's a big, strong guy, but they've never seen that up front in person. And of course, in general, deep down, all humans know that being strong and muscular is a good thing, or that helps for your looks or whatever other things you do. And that just gives you a lot more value. That makes them more valuable in their society, in their eyes. So it's not that you're doing something wrong and you can't compete. It's the fact that this market is just absolutely screwed. Now, by no means am I saying that you have to not take accountability and be like, all right, well, I can't compete here, so I'm just going to move to another country. That's not what I'm saying. That's a doomer's mindset. But what I am saying is you're probably doing better than you think you are because you are comparing yourself to what you see on social media here and the people around you. If you're going to the gym and everyone's jacked and on steroids and you're not, then you think like you're missing out. You're behind. Why is this over here? And what's the funny thing is, here's what actually causes this. Okay, are you ready for this? I can't help but smile or laugh when I'm talking about this because it's just a very funny world we live in right now. It's unbelievable. So you have yourself an ugly chick, someone who just hasn't put the work in. There, maybe she's fat, maybe she doesn't do her hair. She doesn't find it necessary. But why does she not find it necessary? Let's think about it. She posts a picture on Instagram. Now, most of us are going to look at it, scroll past it, we don't care, whatever. But the thirsty guys, the really, really thirsty, lonely guys who would take anything, they are so down bad that they think somehow that commenting these heart eye emojis on her shitty picture is going to get them some sort of attention, some sort of pussy. How does that make any sense? But in their eyes, they just think if they keep complimenting the girl, she's going to give them attention. And some of them slide in her DMs. And it's very funny because a lot of the times, it's usually like some Indian guys or some Pakistani guys. No offense to no offense to those people, but a lot of them are the biggest simps and they have absolutely no idea how this all works. Just to put this out there. You know the classic memes, Indian guy slides into a girl's DMs, please send Bob's in vagine. Like that type of shit. So now you have a girl that's a 4, maybe even a 3. You'd only really get with her if you put a paper bag over her head and you've had enough beer and you've turned her over so you don't see the massive stomach. But no, the bottom feeders, those guys, they will take anything. And so naturally, now this 4, she thinks, all right, these guys like me. I have guys in my DMs. Guys are commenting on my pictures. I'm a 10. I'm an 11 out of 10. Their delusion just goes through the roof because us guys are giving them that validation. I mean, think about what would happen to you if you did not have to change, if you didn't have to go to the gym, you didn't have to get a job, you did nothing, you were an absolute loser, and girls were still in your DMs. You'd think, all right, I'm good. Wouldn't you? So it's no wonder it's happening to women. So these low-level women have an exaggerated self-sense. Now, it's not bad to feel good about yourself. That's all great. But to have it so extended to where now these women, they're looking around, well, if all these guys they want to suck my toes in my DMs, well, that means I can get myself a better guy. So now this 4 has her entire brain rewired, and she's only attracted to a man that she cannot get. She thinks she deserves the guy, the classic 6 foot tall, 6-figure salary, 6 inches below the waist, whatever those metrics are. She thinks she deserves that. And in general, most men don't have that. And the guys that do have that won't even look her way. She is but a piece of gray matter in their vision. The brain literally filters out what you are not attracted to. The guys won't even see her, but she wants them. So now it creates this insane divide where, you guys have probably heard this a lot online, where most of the women, it's the 80-20 rule, 80% of the women want 20% of the men. So for every one guy, 5 women want. And maybe that guy's going to choose one of them, or he's going to choose to bang all of them, doesn't matter. But those women now think they need or they deserve a much better guy. And so now guys like us, you're sitting there thinking, so we're screwed. Unless we're making $1 million, even the fat chicks don't want us. How's that possible? Now, the cool thing is there's other first world countries, right? Not just North America. But because of their society, there is still pressure to put effort into yourself, especially for women. You take places like Ukraine, Russia, Brazil, whatever other places in the world that are known for having the most attractive women. It is in our culture to put effort into yourself. In fact, even though they have access to all the social media, they will go ahead and put in so much emphasis on being as beautiful as they can possibly be. They will do their nails. They will look like women, good-looking women. And then they will still demand you to make $1 million. But at least in that case, it's a little bit more adjusted. But this market here, North America, absolutely does not make any sense. So what choice do we have? Well, it's very simple. If you've gotten to a point in life where you think, all right, I'm deserving, I'm a good man, I'm doing all the right things, and the only chicks that I can really get with are like fat chicks. And what I mean get with, I don't mean just date them or smash them. I mean actually be in a relationship where you as the man can hold frame and set your standards. This is how our life is going to look like, and you are joining my world, and you can be feminine while I can be masculine. That kind of frame, can she fall into it? If the only woman that can fall into it here is a 4 or some fat chick who has low self-esteem, well, you're thinking, well, I'm not even attracted to that. Your choice is to go abroad. Go visit some other countries. Not Europe. Europe's a bit screwed as well. But everywhere else in the world, you will be valued for who you are. Otherwise, the other option is if you are here and you want to compete in this market, yes, you are going to have to be a top level man, like very, very top, meaning you have a business or you're working on a business, you're getting an extremely jacked physique. Does not necessarily mean you have to take steroids, but you basically have to do everything else extremely well to a high degree. And then you will unlock all the other women out there with their extremely high sense of self. Anyway, I'm going to leave you guys with that. That's it for now. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.